Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh back here on Tuesday, 7 games on the slate here in the NBA. We're going to be taking a look at some sides and totals. Also got our player props in here for you. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Continue to follow along for the rest of this season with us. Nate, let's go ahead and get into a game we are becoming very familiar with here. It is the Spurs and the Thunder, and we're in OKC this time. And it's an 8.5 point spread for the team against the team that's won every matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the books are predicting that the triple revenge comes home to roost here. I think that the Thunder defense will certainly come to play. This is what I was talking about on Christmas. And despite insane efficiency in the first half for both teams, that game did go way under. So I'm with you on the under here. I think I'm probably adding a half unit on the Spurs to cover this with under 230, and then you're at plus 250 because I think it's correlated as far as if OKC gets their revenge, they're going to be, scoring a lot in transition, forcing turnovers, doing what they do to run away from teams. Otherwise, this is going to be the intensity of a playoff game. And that means a close margin down the stretch and probably an under, especially when you have Wemby out there, who's just kind of the kryptonite for SGA's Superman to a degree. In the last 4 matchups, SGA is at 25 points per game, which is good, but the 4.7 free throw attempts is huge. And the Thunder not getting to the line much as a team because SGA is the one who drives that. So that's that. I mean, they've now held OKC to 107 points per game, 28% from 3, and on top of limiting the free throw attempts because they have that boogeyman at the back line, right? I don't expect the Spurs offense to be lighting it up here without Vassell. They're averaging 111 without him versus 119 with him, but their defense is 6 points better in terms of defensive rating. They now have a 102 defensive rating, their last 5 on the road, by far the best in the NBA. And no Hartenstein here, kind of hurts the OKC offense a little bit. Also, hurts you in terms of just having a body to deal with Wemby. Wemby, who's just really giving Chet problems, and a big reason, again, why the Thunder have not been able to really pull away from this team.
Yeah, Wemby's really good. He impacts the defensive rating a ton. He's definitely impacted Chet a ton, to your point. I mean, Chet's still a 15.5, man. It's taking everything in me. I'm probably going to bet it. I'm not going to lie. I think 15.5 is just too low without Hartenstein. But either way, yes, Spurs covering. When I saw that you were taking the Spurs to cover as well, it sort of validated my under here that I'm taking in this game at 230, which is up from 228.5. But either way, I think Wemby is the key here. We just saw Wemby play 27 minutes, actually pick up 5 fouls too against Minnesota. So perhaps he would have played a few more minutes had he not been picking up so many fouls. But he started, he was ready to go, and I think his minutes limit might be up to 30, if you can call that a minutes limit. I think that's just what he's basically ready to play now if he's needed in this game to that degree. This is a team that is just a different squad with Wemby out there versus not. He has one of the bigger differentials in terms of team's defensive rating with him on off the court. In the games that he's missed this season, they're also about 7 to actually at this point they're 10 points better per 100 on defense with him in those games. It just they play so much faster, and really they just don't have the rim protection without him there. Obviously, that's pretty obvious to say. So in these 3 games with them, the one game that went over because it got to 240, and that was because the Spurs shot 57% from the floor because they shot 44.5% from 3. They couldn't miss that game. And then I believe that was also the game that the Thunder were doing the complete opposite, which was just missing most of their shots. Alex Caruso was 2 for 12 from 3 in that one. The one game that they played really, really fast as well, that was back in the first cup one. That also came down to the fourth quarter, helping speed things up as there was a couple comebacks, a couple different times in that game for the Spurs. So yeah, I'm going to feel really good about under 230 for anything that is involving an OKC team that is actually competitive, because they're not playing that fast. And if there's a team that can hang with them on defense, which this is the team that can hang with them on defense, they've shown to play a lot closer to the 220s.
Yeah, and another stat that shows the correlation, these teams are number 1 and 2 in offensive rating in the clutch. But when OKC has played the Spurs, they have a 107 offensive rating. So it has fallen off a cliff when you need to score, and Wemby's out there for those clutch minutes. They're only scoring they only have a 104 offense rating in general in the second half against the Spurs. So that just feeds into what we're saying here. So the Warriors probably going to be able to beat down the Blazers here tonight. The Blazers playing without Denny Avdia for the first time this season, and along with Jeremy Grant doubtful, Drew Holiday still working his way back from minutes limit. So there, Sharpe's line has actually been pushed up from 24 to 26, where I was able to take the under. Now I think it's settled at 25, but I still don't think that there's this very clear like path to, well, he's the man who's going to get the most shots, and therefore he's going to go off against a really good Warriors defense. Like, I think you fade him, you expect the Warriors to win. You can definitely get plus money, play this up to like -4.5, and get it a little bit better here. But the indication is like, well, Sharpe dropped 35 the last time these teams met. Like, oh, they beat them already 3 times this season, or the last 3 meetings the Blazers have, and Sharpe's been a big part of that. But I think now that you're just the man and you have eyes on you at all times, including 2 extremely savvy veterans in Draymond and Jimmy, I don't think you're going to be going off. We went last week in that big game against the Clippers, right? They held Kawhi to 20 on 25 attempts. So even if Sharpe gets the volume here, I just downgrade the entire Portland offense in this situation. They have a 98 offensive rating on the season when Avdia is off the floor. The Dubs also, like, their situation, 3rd game of an 8-game homestand, which is like their get right spot, right there, plant their flag after they had to go on the road so much. Their defense is going to show up at home. They just lost to Atlanta. Kudos to the Hawks for shooting very well in that one. But otherwise, they won 6 straight home games where they actually played their starters. And in that span, number 2, limiting above the break threes on the season, at number 10 pick and roll defense. They do give up a lot in the midi, and that is why Sharpe was able to roast them last time. But I just think with more attention, they'll cut him off on those pick and rolls and force the ball out of his hands, see if somebody else can beat him. Like maybe Caleb Love, who, if you want to play the over, that's a correlation as well.
If you're going to have the focus of the Golden State Warrior defense, you're not going to have as much success as the other guys, for sure. They're a team that's going to allow certain other guys to do things, but they are going to try to take away the best player on the other team as much as they can when it's a pure score. And Shaedon Sharpe's not a guy passing on his drives. I think he's still at like a 20%, maybe 17% assist percentage or pass percentage on his drives. He's a guy that's trying to score. And if you know that, man, just collapse. Like, what, you're not worried about too much. Like if Toumani Camara goes like 3 for 7 from 3, I don't think that's going to pull the Blazers away as much as if Shaedon Sharpe's going for 30, right? And I think that they know that at this point. The no Denny stuff, I don't think helps Shaedon at all in this game. He could definitely have used another guy there, and that will be Caleb Love, who's going to sort of be that secondary guy in this one. But no real props up for him right now. Those will probably come out at like 16.5 or so, where they were sort of popping up here and there. But if you do see those, I still think Caleb Love is going to be a pretty good bet to hit his and go still lose. But I'm going to take the Nuggets here for my last side prop here. Side or total, and it's the side. I still think that we shouldn't be respecting this Pelicans squad as much as we should be respecting this backup Denver squad. So no true news on whether or not Jamal Murray is going to play. He's questionable, missed a couple in a row now. I believe Spencer Jones is also still questionable. Not totally sure if he's going to play. But that also just means like we're going to have plenty of other. Peyton Watson's really good. Let me start there. So in these games without Jokic, they've lost a couple games here. They've been to good teams. They're not losing to bad squads without the Joker so far this season. And in these last like 5 games, although they haven't really been like world beaters on offense, they've actually tightened up on defense pretty well, especially around the perimeter, where they're limiting catch and shoot a ton more than they were prior. They started to sort of dip back into their old sort of like, we'll give up the soft sort of like 3-point defense. And that's only increased because the guys that are out there aren't the guys that are I'm not going to like call out starters on Denver for not like trying on defense. But there's a little bit of a difference between guys like Spencer Jones and Peyton Watson playing for contracts and guys who already have them playing defense in January. And that's been the uptick for them as of late. So I just don't know why you would trust anything going on with the Pelicans right now. They're still just, I don't know who might play or who might not play. They've been the number one team of the coach, get all 5 guys out and reset, because I'm frustrated with what I see. So you don't even know if like, is Jordan Poole going to get 12 minutes? Is Jordan Poole going to get 38 minutes because he gets frustrated? It's just a crap show, and I don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, no Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado, and Bay is questionable for the Pelicans, which is the only reason not to really like an under, I guess, is all their defenders are out. So that's certainly, if the Nuggets have Jamal Murray, who's leading the league in potential assists with Joker out, like, yeah, he should just roast this defense with nobody there to step in front of him. And They got athletic dudes. Zeke Nnaji looking like he's going to have a clear path here to big minutes again. I mean, the way he closed that Bucks game certainly indicates he deserves it. In the second half alone, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, closes with a double-double, closes with a 98 defensive rating against Giannis and company. And now you're going to get Zion and company, and you're going to need this type of rim protection. And while Aaron Gordon technically started at the 5 on Sunday because Day'Ron Holmes was just a scratch, they're just like, get this guy out of here. He doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, Nnaji is interchangeable as much as at the 5-4, and the Pelicans don't have a center anyway. So it's just a good matchup. Easy to grab boards over Zion, Derek Queen kind of combination. I think it's worth like a 0.1 unit here at least. The double-double is 28-1 on your money for him to do that once again, which he just did against the Bucks. It's a much tougher matchup. Now in the last 4, 14.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, a 129 offensive rating. And like I said, really peaked in that last game. He's been a guy who like Nuggets Reddit identifies as like one of Calvin Booth's guys. And like, why isn't he playing? And like, they're still keeping him in the doghouse after Mike Malone's gone. Like, he's extremely talented. Get him out there. Now he's getting a massive opportunity. Spencer Jones, I think, is probable. He's upgraded. Okay. So he's going to play, but I mean, he played on Sunday as well. He started and played, and Nnaji just outplayed him. And Jones is playing through an injury, and Gordon on a minutes restriction to a degree, at least limited. How much are they going to stress him in this matchup? Christian Brown's still out. Like, there's a pretty tight rotation as far as guys available, and Nnaji is just getting it done on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for him to not see some minutes. Like, he came off the bench for 28. I think it's more like him and Tyson. Like, he's true center. You're going to see Spencer Jones out there for high 30s if he's probable now. That's what he plays. But sort of what's happened is Day'Ron Holmes was the ghost center. I don't know what you want to call it, the Kendrick Perkins, not even Kendrick Perkins, because he would play more like just the guy who comes out and starts at center because you want to say that you have a 7-footer taking the tip, maybe guarding the other big to start the game, which in this game so would be like you said, Derek Queen, who, no disrespect to his offensive game, I think you want Zeke Nnaji out there over Hunter Tyson guarding him. So yeah, I think, and even if Day'Ron Holmes was playing 7 minutes, 15 minutes, Hunter Tyson played 13 in this last one. Point is, it doesn't matter who starts. I think this is a great look. I think 8-1 is silly for Nnaji in this situation. I think that's just a push the button on that one. Just put a little bit on it because that's a reasonable outcome is that he has 10 rebounds and 10 points once again. So let me move over to that Bulls game here. Not an ideal matchup, but Ayo is going to be out there doing a lot on offense once again, I would imagine. It's not like it's still a pretty, big rotation. It's a wide rotation here for the Bulls, but really when you're talking about no Giddey and no Coby White as well, that's all I need to know for Ayo at least 15 points, regardless of matchup, because of usage and because honestly, his player type is enough to beat the Rockets type of defense. It's not like he's waiting for too much catch and shoot. It's not like he's doing too much off of that. He can get he's spotting up at times, but he's definitely driving to the rim, scoring a good amount of his points in the paint, extended paint, and the like. So the matchup aside, like, this is a dude who's averaging 24 points per 36 minutes this season when he's on the floor without White, without Giddey. And he gets a good amount of those minutes because even when those guys play, he's often the backup coming in for them and not playing alongside, especially Coby White, very much. It's really the Coby White effect. He's He's 16 point. He's just a 16-point player when Coby White is out. I'll take this for plus money. When you add the lack of Giddey as well in here, now I feel like this could easily just be a simple 20 plus points for Ayo, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this hit 16.5 by close.
Yeah, the Rockets defense has just not been good in the last 5. I don't know what is going on. I mean, they got Şengün back in there, and there was a little bit of an adjustment period, perhaps. But yeah, they're coming back home. They're trying to get right. They're supposed to blow out the Bulls tonight, and there's definitely a correlation when that actually happens that Sheppard gets buckets, and some of that might be a mop-up time. Some of it might just be because they're clicking more on offense. But you look at the correlation, his last 6 wins, 13.8 points per game in 24 minutes per game, over this number in 5 of 6, just under against the Suns, who just don't give up anything. Also, I think relevant as one of those is against Denver. He's lit up Denver thrice so far. Bulls kind of similar in terms of the defensive metrics, just like bottom 10 across the board, but particularly bad on the corner 3, allowing 44% on corner 3s in their last 10 on pretty high volume. third most corner threes on the road all season, and worst above the break 3-point defense on the road all season. The Rockets, they just need to get some bench scoring going. And Tari Eason and DFS are both out. I don't know if Aaron Holiday gets the start again. He certainly did not play very well and got yanked in that Kings loss. So I'm fine if he gets the start and Reed comes off the bench. I'm fine if Reed actually starts over him if they want to go that route. But more importantly, yeah, they're back home where the Rockets are not known for having a great bench, but at home, they lead the league in 3-point percentage, 45% at home. Reed shooting 43%, Reed scoring 13.3 at home. So I think this number is nice and vulnerable below what his expectation is. And then you throw in the fact that he's facing one of the worst defenses in the league in a potential blowout spot.
Yeah, it's the spot for sure for Reed. I think 12.5 is fine when you consider the matchup. Like, he's been mostly like 11.5s when it's not a situation like this, but he's definitely getting a little bit of a bump in the market for the 12 to 12.5 for the matchup here and the expected blowout. I would imagine it's a good spot, and I think like 15 plus is reasonable for him in this situation as well. So I'm taking Julian Champagnie until the wheels fall off, and then even when they fall off, I'm probably still going to try to ride the bike because like, this is a wagon. I guess I'll pull the wagon is the phrase. But regardless, I'm sticking with the boards in this one. There's a couple things working against me for the points. The Thunder are the best defense in the league. I know we have these superhuman expectations of them, so now we think they're just suck or something because they haven't won their last 5 games by an average of 20 points or something. They're still very good on defense. That works against you with the points because of where he's at right now in the market, which is like 12.5, which is peak for him. He's been anywhere from 9.5 to 11.5 since he's taken over the starting spot for Devin Vassell. That was beautiful. Loved all of that all of the time because there was this weird lack of accounting for the fact that he was going to be the starting shooting guard as Vassell was out and get a pretty similar usage. They're not really running much around around screens or off-screen stuff for anybody other than Vassell in the starting lineup. And now it's really Julian Champagnie getting a few of those looks. So he's at about 11, 12 field goal attempts per game without him. But like now he's up at 12.5 going up against the best defense. He's been playing some decent defenses. It's just this, like, I got to buy him at a premium at a bad spot to do it. So it's the reason I'm leaving the points out. The boards, though, like even when he didn't start and when he was behind Vassell in the games, the 3 games against this Thunder squad, he still crushed these boards in 22, 23 minutes when he was playing those amount of minutes as the backup. Well, he's now at 33, 34 when he's playing in that Vassell role, which is, again, it's just mirroring the minutes. It's the field goal attempts, where the field goal attempts are from, but he's a way, way better rebounder, right? He's essentially a guard forward playing the 2. So his rebound chances have been at about 13.5 against this team in 23 minutes. Pulling down 9 boards, really hot, but it is one of those situations I think we're seeing everybody's focused on making sure that Victor Wembanyama does not get the board. Call it Lou Dort or whomever happens to be guarding Champagnie isn't like, let me make sure I box out this guy at the 3-point line and he's running in getting some offensive boards. On defense, it's the same thing. If everyone's trying to make sure that Wemby is staying off the boards on both sides, Champagnie's the guy that gets freed up. So his rebound chances at 13 have led to 9 boards per game against this squad. Add 10 minutes, it all just feels really good and safe. I wouldn't be upset with people playing 8+ boards for him for some plus money as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's done 8+ boards in 6 straight now, so that is why you have the juice here on 7. But yeah, if we think it's going to be an under game and there's going to be boards and this man's going to be a key part of the rotation for sure, then it projects, that with the minutes, he should be right there again with the rebounds.
Absolutely. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Coming back with plenty more NBA the rest of this week. We got 7 games, we got 9 games, we got plenty of stuff on the slate. So until we see you next, happy betting.